Welcome back to a bespoke YouTube recording. It's been a while since I did one of these, and you know what? I felt like doing a drinks tier list. I saw someone do one. It may have popped up on my Twitter feed or YouTube feed or whatever, and I was just like, I've got a hunkering to give my opinion on meaningless things because there's nothing that I like more than having arguments about stuff that ultimately doesn't matter. Because when you discuss things that do matter, people just, you know, the tiers are real. Here, these tiers are all fake. And so, it doesn't really matter what we're talking about now. I've got this one, which is very basic, and I haven't modified the tiers here. And I got this one, which is a soft drink tiered Australian lean sort of one, which I will take more focus into. In this one, I will just, we'll warm ourselves up with a little bit of every drink. But I'm a noted, what do you call it, soft drink enjoyer. And that's what we call it in Australia, soft drinks. I don't know if that's an Australian only thing. I'm not gonna go look it up just now. Anyway, now some of these are obviously like almond milk. Do I want to rate it? I'll rate things in their entirety. So taste, use case, so on and so forth. I'm not just gonna be like purely taste, no, nothing else. So let's get started. Monster. Honestly, Monster is the B tier. Now, there's an infinite flavor range of monsters, and I'm not gonna lie, I do find a little bit of joy the few times I get an energy drink. Every now and then, I'm not a huge energy drink drinker, but sometimes the time just arises. I don't want to have coffee because I like my coffee with milk, and if I have milk in my coffee, but I need to stay focused, I don't want to, have to go to the bathroom due to the milk. It just happens, biology and mild lactose intolerance. You get the vibe, and sometimes you just want to go for a monster, and they're pretty expensive, but if you want the flavors that are at least a little bit interesting, and they're expensive even without them. But there's something nice about the size of the can. The flavor is actually pretty good. Even like all monster like varieties have that like base monster flavor kind of at the bottom of it. I don't really have an objection to it. I would drink a monster even if it didn't have that crazy caffeine that obviously is why people drink it. I understand why people probably get addicted to this stuff for the energy, which is why I don't drink it too often, because otherwise I would become one of those people. I could see myself being one of those people, so we're holding off on that. But yeah, it's a B tier. It's not quite A tier. It's definitely not something I regularly purchase at all. At most, I'll have one, like I'll buy it and then drink it like in one swoop. Almond milk, one of the worst milk replacement ones. People can have their opinion about milk, whatever, this way, that way. On a flavor basis, nothing beats regular old milk. That's my honest opinion. Milk clears. The only thing that can potentially fight for it is oat milk, but oat milk also, and I hate to sound, this sounds kind of like a joke, but it is seriously what I mean is that it tastes like oats. It it's like I'm having a purely liquefied version of breakfast, which is some good in some ways, but if you're using it to replace milk, not really. But anyway, I'm a milk is C tier. It's not so bad as D tier, but you know if they run out of milk, I wouldn't refuse almond milk. Actually, you know what? I don't like. I just realized I would prefer to not have almond milk, and I would rather have my coffee without milk than almond milk. I don't like almond milk. It doesn't even taste like too much like almonds in a good way. I like almonds. Almond milk just not very good. Now Pepsi, it may be up there as one of the best. I'm a Pepsi believer. Now, if you tell me Pepsi or Coke, I would say flip a coin and I'll decide based on my mood. Based on which one I've had more recently, I'll choose the other ones that have a little bit of variety. They are different. They are very different in minute ways. So, but yeah, Pepsi, very elite. They don't have the differentiation between flavors and stuff. Yeah, which we'll get into later. So I won't focus on soft drinks too much because we're gonna be rating the soft drinks subsequently. Water is of course elite. Nothing beats water. Cold, ice cold water hits the spot in a way that not even a soft drink can at times. So I mean, I don't think it goes without saying I'm not a water denier. I'm a water believer. Nothing. I mean, you know what? Let me drink some water right now as I'm hydration pilled. Even if it's in the bottle for a little while, water stays water. That's the good thing about water. Like chamomile tea, most teas go in C tier because I've only had tea a few times. I don't mean that like facetiously. I mean I don't have tea regularly. I'm a coffee guy, so when I've had it, but I wouldn't say I've, it's not my tastes. Now if you tell me almond milk coffee or chamomile tea, I would have to actually think about it. So that's why I'm putting chamomile a bit higher. But it's definitely like, it's not my style of drink for sure. Pineapple soda, pineapple doesn't really work in it. It's hard to get the right balance for that artificial flavoring for pineapple. And I haven't had the one pictured here, but I've had a pineapple soda obviously at some point. I would say it's on par with the Monster, but we'll get into it later. Apple soda, I've probably had one or two in my life, but I can't recall it well enough to place it on this list. Chocolate milk is better than almond milk, but it's not. It's actually one of the most overrated milks, flavored milks of all time. Because chocolate milk is not like hot chocolate. Hot chocolate is different to chocolate milk. I got fucking baited once. One time, like, what do you call it? Back when I was in school, right? They fucking hard baited us. They were like, you get hot chocolate. And then the time came, they were like hyping us up, and it was just like chocolate milk. Chocolate milk is not hot chocolate. It's not. You will never be him. It doesn't work. Now, is there a time and place for chocolate milk? Yes. Right? There is a time and place. When you're ironically shitposting about Chucky milk. That's the only time and place. Oh, when you're a child. Like a reasonable, like if you're, I don't know, there's no real cutoff for this. You could have it once or twice. If you're regularly consuming chocolate milk, you find something else to drink, maybe, is my suggestion. But it's just an opinion. I would never drink chocolate milk. Every so often you walk past the aisle and you're like, maybe it's time to dip into all of that. But no, not for me. Apple cider. Is this the alcoholic? What is the apple cider? Like regular apple cider, unsweetened. Well, I love apple cider. I can't lie. I prefer it to apple juice. I would place it up here, not quite S tier, but it's definitely A tier. If someone's like, you got apple cider in a jug, I'd have some for sure. Now grape juice, this kind of grape juice filtered here is probably C tier. It's a bit too unadulterated. You need to dilute it and carbonate it. Maybe I wouldn't just have straight up grape juice, but it's better than these two, because at least I would try more grape juice than these. I'm not even lying. Dark coffee. Here's a tough one. I love coffee, but the way I have coffee is probably not the way that most people purport themselves to consume it. I would say, you know what? When made well, it's B tier, but it's lower end. I'm not a zero milk guy. I'm big on milk. I'm fairly big on sugar, but some good coffees can, if it's really, really good coffee, you don't even need that much sugar. The flavor just comes through. But I'm not a fan of just straight up wincing every time I drink it. And you can say it's like a weak mindset or whatever. I would say I like to drink stuff that doesn't make me go, like a cold brew clears dark coffee. I'm not even a cold brew, like, specific kind of guy. I don't know what this is. Full stop. Next question. Energy drink. That is Gatorade, which is not an energy drink. That is a hydration drink. But I would probably put them both in B tier. They're kind of, they're good for that use case, but I don't really drink them outside of that. Probably, if I'm not gonna bother too much with the order here, but you're definitely at the end, dark coffee. And I mean, protein shake goes in the same tier. It's a use case only thing. You wouldn't have a protein shake if you didn't fit in the category for having a protein shake. I would put it that way. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you know what really would hit the spot right now? Protein shake. But sometimes you are definitely like, you know what would hit the fucking spot right now? Pepsi. That does happen, at least to me. Root beer, one of the worst soft drinks, but it's an acquired taste thing. If you grew up drinking root beer, then you have to You have to respect the root beer. I don't respect it. I would never choose to drink it. A chocolate milkshake, it's A tier, asterisk, and denote it. Asterisk if you have like one every like season, or like twice every 3 months maximum. You cannot be having a chocolate milkshake like too many, like multiple times a month. It just doesn't work. Like, if you have that much of a craving for a chocolate milkshake, and I'm gonna just try to put a vanilla milkshake in the same tier. Vanilla's probably a bit higher. No offense, but like it's just straight up too much. It's a meal by itself. But every so often, you know, you're ordering from a place and then you're flicking past your usual soft drink options and you see chocolate milkshake and you're like, all right, this is my allotment. I feel like I could stuff myself silly today, and you go for it. And so we send it. Eggnog, never tried. I'm not I don't know what is Christmas? New Year's? I don't celebrate whatever eggnog represents, so I wouldn't know. Lemonade, as a proper homemade lemonade is very, very good, but I haven't had one in a long time. I mostly, you know, I guess that's why they have lemon soda and lemonade as different things. Lemonade, a really good lemonade, you know, you get the lemon, the sugar, you put a bit of salt in there, maybe even some citric acid if you want to get that kick in. It can go absolutely crazy, you know, straight out the fridge. So I would say it's on par with apple cider for like sort of a homebrew, non-carbonated yet delicious beverage. It's not something I would never go out of my way to make lemonade, because it's just like, you know, you've always got cans in the fridge. I would never construct lemonade just from no reason. But, you know, it is what it is. Okay. Straight up milk. Maybe an unpopular opinion. You know what? Nah, it isn't. So the thing about milk is, I assume already milk just straight up here. I know I said like applications or whatever, but like water goes in all of these basically. So like, you know, doesn't really count. I don't go out of my way to drink milk because I have coffee, and my coffee has milk. You understand? That doesn't make sense. So in terms of that, then milk just has to go here. But a nice glass of cold milk actually hits the spot every so often. It's like the light version of a milkshake for obvious reasons. But, you know, I would say I have milkshakes more often than I have milk, because if I feel like having milk, I may as well have a milkshake, because that's not a frequent craving for specifically milk anyway. So like it's not really a big deal. Orange soda gotta be one of the, you know what? Fuck you, orange soda. It's gotta be like a genetic predisposition for you to like a Fanta, a Sunkist. Every orange soda just tastes like medicine to me. It just, like, I don't mind it. It's the good medicine. But it just doesn't hit. I'm not gonna elaborate on it because we're gonna elaborate on it subsequently. I'm gonna put grape soda right. Yeah. It's about the same as pineapple soda. It's not a regular, but I would try. I've tried every so often. I think milk tea also goes. You know, I'm not a huge tea guy, but a milk tea is where I would go for. It's about where I enjoy it. I would rather have you know what, milk tea is actually like, it's one of the best beverages that I don't consume regularly. If I was a tea drinker, I would be a milk tea drinker, that's for sure. Latte coffee, not my style of coffee, so I just try to put it in C tier. It just doesn't really hit the spot for me, to put it that way. Plus, I don't really get coffee like outside. I'm not gonna pay so much money for a coffee. I'm actually, you know, if I'm not having a drip filter coffee Indian style, which you know you have to prep for a little bit, which it takes some effort. You know, instant coffee is fine by me, but that may invalidate my takes. I would say it doesn't. But you know, I'm not a huge latte coffee guy. Regular old tea, worse than milk tea. Probably the same as chamomile. I'm just not a tea guy. There's not much to say about it. Banana milk, straight up goated. But it's not something I regularly have. You know, while we're at it, where was strawberry milk? Strawberry milkshake goes in the same tier as all of these. All of these like flavored milks, these like core flavored milk products, great. Banana milk, great. But banana and milk complement each other basically perfectly. It's just like, you know, when are you ever gonna be in the mood for specifically banana milk is the reason why I don't have it often. But yeah, I mean, partial to it. Bubble tea also very nice. I would put it all these milk products are generally speaking very good. Now I don't have bubble tea. I've had bubble tea a couple times. I wouldn't say I regularly consume bubble tea either. The few times I've had it, I've been, you know, positive about it. But the problem about bubble tea and the problem with a lot of these things is that because of my mild lactose intolerance, I don't really want to order it that much because almost no places that serve these will do a lactose free milk. So they'll just do a milk replacement and then it's just not as good. So you either have to straight up risk it and time it so that you don't shit yourself in public, or just never have it. So these are A tier items that I just can't have that often, which is fine. Lemon soda, it's at the top of A, I would say. Almost S, but I would say not quite a regular thing, but we'll talk about it later. Strawberry milk gotta be the best, like, milk flavored milk here, I would say. Better than chocolate milk, better than banana milk. I don't care if it's not too strawberry flavored. Like, if it's not, like, authentic to the strawberry, it's just pink milk, bro. It's fucking goated. I know I chat on chocolate milk, but, like, I wouldn't regularly purchase strawberry milk either. I'm just saying on a flavor basis, strawberry milk is chocolate milk. On that level, I at least can respect it more than I can respect chocolate milk, but that's just me. Iced tea, better than most kinds of tea. It goes around this range as well, I would say. Iced tea is just straight up like better than regular tea, in my opinion. The chill adds the flavor. I don't know how, but it does. Green tea around the same level as most of this stuff, to the point I would never intentionally consume green tea. You know, it's the kind of thing where if you grew up drinking green tea, then I can understand enjoying it, and I wouldn't refuse if someone served me a green tea. I wouldn't refuse it. It doesn't like repulse me. It just does nothing for me at all. It's basically like flavor. It's flavored water, but it's not flavored enough. Like some of these are for me. And by the way, I love water, so like, you know, let's just be clear with it. Soup, I'm gonna say it doesn't count. I'm gonna put this in not count tier. Soup is not water, even though it is water. It's not a drink. It's a drink. Okay, you know what? It is a drink, but there's so many kinds of soup, man. You can't just have soup. Like, there's no base soup the way that there is obviously a base water and a base milk. You know? I guess there's technically not a base tea. There's varieties. So in that sense, I would say soup is B tier. Now, you know what? Soup is A tier. It's just I don't really have it. But when you're in the mood for soup, soup hits. But I would say not my moment. Sparkling water, I'm gonna say B tier, with the exception of plain unflavored sparkling. Is this non-flavored? Flavored sparkling water is basically like a soft drink, but it's like pretending not to be one, which is fine by me. But regular sparkling water without any flavors is purely boredom based. But we'll get into that. You know what? You know what? I might as well split the videos now that I think about it. So you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna record 2 separate ones. So we'll actually finish this and then I'll. So if you want my further opinions, be sure to subscribe to this channel, like the video, etc. Tropical juice gotta be up there as one of the best juices. No matter what fucking mix of passion fruit, mango, pineapple, whatever fucking wizardry they put in here, it's always goated. The cooks know what they're doing, get it twisted, believe in it, and enjoy it. Ginger tea is better than regular tea, because at least it kind of fulfills the purpose. It's got an angle to it more than these teas do to my tastes. It's still not something I would drink on, you know, volition, but you know, fruit punch, same. It's the worst version of tropical juice in my opinion. Tropical flavors better than whatever you put in a fruit punch. These are more default flavors, but still very good. Now I'm gonna take this as with milk because that's how I have it. I have coffee pretty much every day, and I mean, You can't beat a good coffee with some milk and sugar. It hits the spot in a way that nothing else quite does. Now cappuccino, same tier as latte. I'm just not a fan of. I'm a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this. But I wouldn't refuse it either way. I don't know why they put specifically a few random soft drinks here. 7-Up is basically a lemon soda with a slight flavor difference. Coke is as goated as Pepsi, no problem. Red wine. The thing is, Australian here. I've been to the fucking valleys of where they make the wine. I've tasted this shit. There are some the wine that you buy a lot is an acquired taste. There are some where you can very easily get started. I'm not a wine drinker, so I don't really understand the nuances of enjoying a wine that I pretty much don't like. My mind, when I taste it, my mouth is just like, nope. For most wines, some of them I'm like, I can see how you could, acquire this taste. But that's just not for me right now. It's not for me right now. But maybe in like 30 years. Maybe in 30 years. Now, beer, it's probably it's about C tier. Most beer doesn't do anything for me. I'm a cider over a beer guy for sure, but I wouldn't. If the situation for alcoholic beverages arises, I'm not going to refuse a beer if the beer is the only thing they got. If I'm drinking, but usually I won't be drinking anyway, so it's not a big deal. Diet Coke. I'm going to substitute this for Coke Zero. I mean, the flavor differences are not enough to make me rate this any worse, in my opinion, but that's just me. Is this a pear? Pear juice? I don't know what this is. I've probably tried it, but I don't know what this is. Orange juice? It's better than orange soda, but I'm not an orange juice kind of guy. A Red Bull is about the same tier as... Oh, it's transparent. Scared me. As sparkling water, and probably around... I'll put it worse than Monster. I would rather have a Monster than a Red Bull, but I don't regularly drink either of them. Oat milk. I did say oat milk was better than almond milk. It's still a C tier. I would still never buy it. But if you have to make me choose, it's the better replacement beverage. So milk is probably the worst one. It just doesn't taste like it doesn't taste right. I'm not even like doing a soy meme. It just doesn't taste right to me. It's just a preference thing. Apple juice, better than orange juice, but it's a bit too sweet most of the time. That's why I prefer the cider. It's got a bit of a kick to it, but it's in the same vein as the juices, but it's not quite my vibe. And is this coconut milk or coconut water? I assume it's coconut milk, which is rarer and better than coconut water. I'm not a coconut water guy, but I also would never buy coconut milk unless I'm cooking with it. But I wouldn't say no if someone offered me coconut milk because it's pretty rare and it tastes pretty good. But anyway, that's a drinks tier list. Send me your reviews if you want more. We're gonna be doing this one right after this, but obviously, probably a day after. So stay tuned, and if you want more tier lists like this, be sure to leave comments. Tell me where I'm wrong, and enjoy.